Welcome to the first ever Living Wisdom High School Integrated Performing Arts Showcase. And this evening we have for you an incredible array of one-person shows that runs the gamut really from humorous and lighthearted to heartbreaking to introspective. We see dance highlighted, poetry, innovative technical design, really a wide spectrum that represents the unique interests and passions and inner reflections of all of the students at Living Wisdom High School. And it's a joy to be able to honor all of you and your work, and for all of us to have a chance to really see a window into the creative process and the self-reflection and the awareness that's being developed of self and of life. So I hope you enjoy the show. In a moment, I'm going to introduce Keshava, who has been the teacher and mentor supporting this group of young people in the cultivation of this whole process. But I want to speak a little bit more specifically to what I've witnessed in this community of teenagers over the course of the last 2-3 months. Many of the students that you'll see tonight actually very intensely resisted the idea of being part of a performing arts class and program. And repeatedly, I've had people come to me throughout the course of this term reversing that opinion, saying thank you, and expressing both a delight in the experience and an awareness of the transformation that's happening for them personally and collectively. And what I see in all of you is, and I'm speaking now to our high school students, is a community that is rooted in kindness and respect and support. And what that does is it creates space where each of you can be authentically yourselves, and you can take risks, explore new ideas, and grow as individuals, and be seen by your peers and respected and honored for that, and do the same for those around you. And so I really want to honor what you've created as a group, because I think it's rare to find a place where we can really be as vulnerable and open and creative as you all have been. So with that, I'm going to open the mic now to Keshava, who is our performing arts teacher, among many things. He's also a professional actor, a former Hollywood stuntman, musician, and many, many, many more skills and abilities run through his veins. But Keshava, come on up, and let's give him a round of applause.
Well, I am supremely happy to get to be here with all of you and with all of you. And just 2 quick words. Basically, what is a one-person show and what has been our process over this term? And basically, a one-person show is, I think, arguably the oldest form of theater that exists. Because basically, at the heart of it, it's just telling stories. And so it's the art of telling stories with one person. And so this can be anything from telling stories around a campfire to convincing people to invest in your business to wooing someone over a dinner table at your first date. And these are all one-person shows. And this is a very interesting medium because in the modern world, this is very uncommon now. And I think that's a shame. One-person shows are an incredible insight into the human experience, both for the performer and for the audience, and I hope that you are able to experience that yourselves tonight. But now a word as to the process that the students have undergone over the last couple of weeks, and I think it's important to share this so you are able to step into the experience as they have. As Shama mentioned, I think it would be fair to say that a goodly portion of them were a little bit reluctant to realize that I was going to make them write, produce, create, imagine original one-person shows, but they've really stepped up to the plate. And what we've been primarily focusing on this term has been the creative process. And that I have encouraged them to bring 7 bad ideas so that they can have 2 mediocre ones and 1 good one. And we've begun the term with improvisational theater. We've forayed into an old tradition of theater called masking, and you'll actually see one performance today that incorporates the use of masks. It's a really interesting thing. I encourage you to talk to the students after the class about their experience masking. And then we jumped into one-person shows, and this has been largely based on, I think, the incredibly revolutionary work of Benjamin Mathis. And what I basically forced them to do was to write an original story every class with a very specific set of parameters. I'll give you an example. The first show I made these students write was I said, in 2 days, you're going to come back, and you're going to perform 1 to 3 minute long story without any words about an inanimate object in your life. And I wish you could have seen the look of horror that went over their faces. You can't be serious. Well, they said it was impossible, and then 2 days later they came in and they did it. And every single week my job was to come up with more outrageous parameters, and they succeeded time and time again. And then what we began to see was real creativity come forth. And I think that's one of the most important things we can learn through the creative arts, is the attitude that there's always a solution, there's always an answer, there's always a way. After creating 7 original shows, we perused which ones were our favorite, using our favorite motifs, and we decided on which show we wanted to present. But now, to give you a little context, they've had all of about 10 days to refine, write, memorize, rehearse, choreograph, stage, produce these one-person shows. So I don't want you to think of this as a Broadway polished performance, but I want you to feel this as like a raw showcase of creativity and action. Yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, please feel free to applaud, feel free to laugh, feel free to cry. And I hope you enjoy the show.
Introducing a love story, the likes of which has never been seen. 2 household items, both alike in dignity, in Trader Joe's, where we lay our scene. Cornflakes, the old standby of breakfast cereals, dependable, doesn't have to mean dull. Trader Joe's organic cornflakes prove that the simple cornflake can indeed be elevated to something much more significant. When you're as passionate about deliciousness as we are passionate, it's easy to understand why we love this simple, tasty, organic almond milk, almond milk, almond milk. They both think themselves so wonderful, so versatile, that neither thinks they'll ever settle down with a partner. Until... Cornflakes, smitten at first sight, proposes his undying love for almond milk. Listen, I've never been a smooth talker, but I'm nutty about you. But she refuses his advances. Oh, well, I'm charmed, but you're just too corny. Stale from rejection, but not yet expired, Cornflakes shelves his desires, but luck is on his side, for the hands of fate had destined that they could not avoid one another. Well, hello there. Almond milk first found cornflakes to be coarse, with a strong exterior, But as they spent more time together, he softened, revealing beneath his crisp sense of duty a sweet and tender nature. It may be too spoon, but I think I'm in love. You're getting so mushy, but I love you too. Almond Milk finally finds a partner she can truly give herself to, remedying her one true flaw, self-absorption. Just promise me one thing. Will you always be here for me? I've heard you are dependable, but you seem a little flaky. Don't worry, hun. I'm serious about you. You corn, count on me. As she takes in his once rough and jagged edges with her smoothness and tenderness, she finds that she too is sweetened by his company. Ah, yes, a perfect marriage. Cornflakes and almond milk are one meal found at Trader Joe's. See nutritional facts for details.
Why do I have so much math homework? When am I even going to use this in the real world? Maybe I should just have the candy right now. Just a little nibble won't hurt. No candy till you finish your work. Oh, great. You're back. That hurt. You weren't excited to see me. Don't listen to that goody two-shoes. Just have the candy right now. Why wait? Oh, not you too. Because if you eat the candy, then you're going to have all the candy and you won't finish your work. Besides, rewards are better when you earn them. Just face it, you are never going to get the work done. Just have the candy right now. Whatever, just stop it, you two. I'm going to finish my work and eat it after. Very good. Your parents will be so proud, studying to be a doctor at Harvard. Your parents will never be proud of you. I really need to get this work done. Mr. White's going to kill me. I'm never going to finish this in time. Maybe I should just have it right now. Yes, fulfill your desires and eat the candy. I'm glad you're finally coming to your senses. No, don't do it. If you eat the candy, you're not going to get any work done. How are you going to get into the Harvard medical program if you don't finish your work? What will your mother say? Why do you always bring his mother into this? Why don't you ever let him do what he wants to do? Because you can't always live for yourself. There are morals and principles to live by. Bah, who cares about principles? Principles are for morons. Oh, you did not just shut it, you two. I need to focus. I'm not the problem. He's the one causing all the trouble. Kenneth, you're both not helping. Oh no, where's the candy? Oh my gosh, I should have just had the candy, just like he said. I did tell you, did I not? You couldn't live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Right back to me. Doesn't matter anyway. I just have to finish the work and get no candy. At least you'll get the work done. What does the work matter if he doesn't get any candy? For his grades and getting into Harvard? Who cares about Harvard? Job applications? Well, my friend Timmy got a job and he didn't go to Harvard. Working at McDonald's is no way to live. Just go away. I have enough stress as it is. I don't need to be thinking about medical school or jobs now. Finally, I'm done. What? The candy was right there? I could have just had it? Ugh. Oh. Why won't this open? I worked so hard to get this. Candy does taste better when it's well-deserved.
I'm fine, is what I say when someone asks if I'm okay. Matter of fact, I'm not. I lied. I know that no one really wants to hear when I'm not okay, but I pray that maybe one day someone will stay and ask again, why aren't you okay? Every day, I wake up wishing I hadn't. I lay in bed as the alarm goes off, staring at the ceiling and wonder how many more days are these feelings going to stay. I just want them to go away. I want to go back to when I was younger, full of genuine happiness, and all I wanted to do was play. But now all I could display was a fake smile. I knew there was more to life than this. So I looked to a friend, the one who always seems to have a smile, the one who always knows the better of the bad, the right side of the wrong, and asked, how do you do it? How do you stay happy? She then said, well, you caught me. It's in fact an act. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know other people felt this way. The feeling of being alone, even in a room full of people. Those who help others even when they're the ones in need. It was in that moment I knew I wasn't alone. I wish I'd known that I wasn't all on my own. For the first time in a while, I felt hope.
I got a call from Darren's girlfriend. I was so confused when she called. She told me I needed to come over right away. So I quickly grabbed my things and headed out the door. When I got there, she was crying in the doorway. And by the look on her face, I immediately knew something was wrong. I ran to his bedside and sat down. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I tried to say goodbye, but every time, the words wouldn't come out, and silence remained. After about 5 minutes, I asked him how his condition was. He said, "Well, man, it's killing me." God, I hate cancer. We began to talk about old memories and past experiences. And the more we began to talk, the more I began to realize that everything was going to become memories. We listened to our favorite songs together and began to sing. I tried to make the best out of the time that we had together because it was not very long. He began coughing, and his parents rushed into the room. They asked me kindly to leave, and I did. On the way out, I saw his girlfriend one last time, and I told her how sorry I was. I went home, and I sat in my bed, hoping that he would be okay. After a few hours, she called again. But only this time, she said that he was gone. Never again could I listen to our favorite song the same way.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? A woodchuck would chuck all the wood it could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood, of course. Well, maybe not so simple. See, a woodchuck is also known as a groundhog, is a rodent of the genus Marmota. And while they can dig burrows up to 9 meters deep, wood would be too tough for the poor critter's teeth. Well, maybe the right question is, how much ground would a groundhog hog if a groundhog could hog ground? While this advice may be sound, I once knew a woodchuck named Chuck. He was a rebellious little rodent with beady black eyes and 2 large yellow front teeth. When he wasn't grounded by his parents, he was lounging deep underground in his hole on the bottom floor of his burrow with the star moles, whose paws poked through the enclosure where his old clothes lay tattered in rows, holes unsewn, festering mold. Chuck didn't always do, and in school, he didn't always do what he was told. He didn't care what a mole was, whether it was 6.022 times 10 to the 23, or a dark spot that might require chemotherapy. Even when he tried to cram crash course chemistry, calculating coefficients of the combination reaction between chloroform and caustic soda, his grades didn't quite meet up with his parents' quota. Give Papa a cup of proper coffee and a copper coffee cup, ordered Chuck's papa, Peter Piper, prudently puffing a poof of powdery smoke from his ornate ivory pipe. You know, when I was your age, I worked from the monotonous lark's first bark to the Hottentot buttonquail's last wail. One misty morning, while I was plowing the fields, I noticed a bright clump of colors at the edge of my field of vision. It was plump, bright, like a bundle of Christmas lights. And when I looked closer, it was a peck of pickled peppers. I picked it, the whole peck. And that was the birth of my pickled pepper, peach, and peppermint packing industry. With productivity, profitability to rival OPEC. Well, Chuck, you don't have to specialize in spice, but secure the low-hanging fruit and the seeds of success will take root. But why were the peppers pickled, you ask? Well, when I picked them off the perfectly pruned plant, they had gathered salt from the sea. The fine vine had found its way to the sproutlings, killing the weed, but also endowing the fruit with this soury, salty seasoning. Oh, the ocean. Surfing is in season. The fresh sea spray on your face as squawking seagulls snatch your food for no reason. There goes suntan Aunt Sally, sauntering to the stall where she sells seashells by the seashore. The law stipulates that you take less than 2 gallons of shells for non-commercial reasons a day. But when police came to her stall, she clammed up, calm as a clam. Sure, trafficking conscience might dawn on your conscience, and you might get thrown in the clamshell prison cell. But out there, alone with the abalone, the world is your oyster. Sure, a dishonest scam selling shellfish is selfish, but she knows where to draw the line, in the sand. Well, On the other hand, you can follow Mrs. Betty Butter's example. She bakes a better batch of bitter butter batter every day for family, friends, and neighbors to share with free samples. We buy baguettes from her bakery, which has a perfect rating on the Better Business Bureau. After this talk, Chuck crawled back to his dank, dusty den, brow furrowed, more lost in life than a random walk, during a long hibernation following a disappointing graduation. Each day felt the same as the last, but as Puxatawny Phil signaled that winter has passed, Chuck was hit with the revelation. At chemistry, he was no good, but he was the cookie monster when it came to chucking wood. His family, too, deemed his speed fit for working at Chuck E. Trees. The lumber industry is a risky business, with one of the highest rates of fatalities, but Chuck turned the tables. From the Everglades reeds down to the canopies of Belize, vast swaths of forest were felled in a breeze. As species of fleas went extinct in threes, the Lorax didn't have so much time as to sneeze. Chuck knew he was decimating the biosphere, but if he stopped now, he would end up on the streets, he feared. Just when the hacking and sawing and mowing and the bulldozing seemed endless, from the depths of the great chucking machine, there sounded a crack, greater than the great San Francisco earthquake, and all was black. From a hospital bed, Chuck did awake, contending with a deluxe influx of skull-shattering toothaches. Removed your incisors with the precision sulcular incision, the dentist said. And don't even try to say that because now you have a severe lisp. If you want to be able to eat bread, I recommend shucking corn instead.
It's me, Mr. Garbanzo. Now, I know I'm not your favorite English teacher, but today, I really have something special. Horton Hears a Who by Dr. Seuss. Let's just get started. Anna, just like your grades. In the heat of the day, in the cool of the pool, Horton was enjoying the jungle's great joys. When Horton the elephant heard us. Olivia, are you asleep? I can't do this anymore. You guys say you like poetry, you know, all your Tupac shakers, your Kendrick Lamers, and your Reese's Pieces. That's all poetry. I just need to make you guys listen. I need to make you guys understand. Oh, shoot.
06 morte imediata.
On the 14th of May in the jungle of New, in the heat of the day, in the cool of the pool, Horton was enjoying the jungle's great joys when Horton the elephant heard a small noise. So Horton stopped splashing. He looked toward the sound. That's funny to Horton. There was no one around. He heard it again, just a very faint yelp as a sun-tiny person was calling for help. I'll help you, said Horton, but who are you? Where? He looked and he saw nothing there. I say, muttered Horton, I've never heard tell of a small speck of dust that is able to yell. You know what I think? I think that there must be someone on top of that small speck of dust. Some sort of creature with very small size, too small to be seen by an elephant size. Some poor little person who's shaking with fear. He'll blow in the pool, he got nowhere to steer. And Horton saw the bloke sipping a beer, cause Horton gotta get with the holiday cheer. Yeah, Horton's not flexing, he's speaking the facts. He be hella nice, you gotta relax, cause look at the price. It costs hella stacks, and look at my ice, it costs hella racks. He be hella hungry, so it be kinda growing. They say he's like seeding, but he's not busy coding like Adam Reduced 15 Nature. The talk to no girls cause he lives in Wyoming. They call him unique. neat. Some call him flirtatious, but if he had drip, it would be ostentatious. Big floppy ears, no, he can't shake it, and he never get cold because of homeostasis. Through the town, rush the mayor, to the east, to the west. Everyone seemed to be doing his best. Everyone seemed to be yapping or yipping. Everyone seemed to be bapping or bipping. It wasn't enough, all the ruckus and roar. He had to find someone to help him make more, and that's when Horton knew he had love in his core. He raced through each building and searching each floor. Discovered one sugar white hidden away in the Fairfax apartments, apartmental J, and the address was the Hersey Pachyderm. The zip code was A76778, and as Horton felt, he was going nowhere, because we all know Horton's no player. Horton was about to give up despair. He suddenly burst through a door in that mayor. He grabbed a tom-tom, he started to smack it, and all over Whoville they whipped up a wreck. They rattled tin kettles, they beat on brass pans, on garbage tops, on cranberry cans. They blew on bazookas, they blasted great toots, on clarinets, oobas and boobas and flutes. They danced on the floor, they made a loud hoot, for Horton was snacking on veggies and fruits. Failing this message would be so sad. My rumors were warm because I don't got enough fans. We need to stay conscious, we're on stolen land. My rumors were warm because I don't got enough fans. Feeling dehydrated, might need a beverage. So I went to the store to grab a refreshment. In order to do so, I might need some leverage. Like a goldfish, they stand for Pepperidge. Garbanzo and Greenland, asymmetry, 20 kids in a class, that's humidity. Students never said they saw a spark in me because they know I'm too smart for the industry. Okay, class, I quit my job.
The flowers are from your parents. Security didn't let them in, just thought they'd make the hospital room a little brighter. I've never seen your dad cry before. I wish I didn't have to. I'm so sorry.
You'd be sitting down, but I don't think I'll be. You can do it on this pocket.
Okay.
Let's
Just slip it inside.
I wish I'd told you sooner. I've always been the one behind the mask. I don't even know if you can hear me right now. The doctors said it might not be possible. You know, they don't talk about it. When people talk about superheroes, they talk about pseudonyms and flying around the city at night and secret identities and saving people. Saving people. That's what superheroes do. They save people. Saving people. It's what I wanted to do. They never talk about the ones you couldn't save. See, that's the thing. Superheroes, they save people. They can, they do, they try, and they save everyone. That's the difference between a superhero and a kid in a mask playing pretend. I'm sorry. I've spent the past week going over it all, replaying it in my head. If I'd been a little bit stronger, if I'd been a little bit faster, a lot of good that does you. I can lift a shipping truck with my bare hands, but I wasn't there for you. God, I hope you wake up.
A million little thoughts flashing through my mind. How should I start this email? Is greetings fine? A million little thoughts flashing through my mind. The ball is coming towards me. Should I call mine? A million little thoughts flashing through my mind. What should I do next? I forgot my line. A million little thoughts flashing through my mind. What should I say next? Dang, it's hard to find. A million little thoughts flashing through my mind. I can't take this anymore. I wish I could say what I want to say without you giving me weird looks because I said something wrong. I hate it when I feel like I'm supposed to be perfect and cool in my speech just so I can fit your unrealistic standards of perfection. I wish I could convey thoughts like other people convey theirs. I wish other people could see my points and understand them. Even if they do see them, do they ever understand me? Even if they do see me, do they ever understand? I wish I could find the right words to say, but instead, I end up feeling agitated, distressed, as if something's about to erupt. I'm trying to get it out, but instead of exploding, it's imploding. It's like my lungs are going to give up and flatline me, like there's a creature gnawing in my insides. I'm drowning in other people's words, but I can't find mine. Will I always be this way?
We had everything ready. A crib, the cutest little baby clothes, a nursery, and a name. The hospital bag had been packed, and Chris had been dropped off at your grandparents'. All other preparations had been made. Then, my water broke. I remember thinking, it's happening. I'm gonna have a baby. Oh my God, I'm gonna have a baby. A strange mix of fear and excitement bubbled up within me as we neared the hospital. As soon as they settled us down, I asked for an epidural, but to my horror, they told me it was too late. You were coming too fast. The labor hurt, much more than the first time, and there was a lot of cursing involved. You did this to me! The tirade was mostly directed towards your father because he was the easiest target. But he took it like a champ, and he never stopped supporting me. And then, through all the yelling, the stress, and the pain, you came. All of a sudden, there was a baby where there hadn't been one before. It felt very surreal, like a dream almost. But then I was snapped back to reality. They whisked you away before I could get a good look at you, and in those moments that you were gone, I felt like a part of me was missing. All I wanted was to hold you. But then you were there again, snugly wrapped up in a pink little blanket with a matching pink hat on your little head. And I remember looking at you for the first time and just falling in love. Every part of you was perfect. Your small hands, your tiny ears, your little fingers. Everything was just perfect. I couldn't take my eyes off the beautiful baby that was before me. And the best part was that you were mine. And in that moment, I felt so blessed that I would be able to take you home, watch you grow up, and see the wonderful person that you would become.
But soft, put light through yonder window breaks. It is east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who's already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maiden, art far more fair than she. Ay me. Oh, she speaks, so speak again, bright angel. O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, but be sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. Shall I hear more, or shall I speak of this? 'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art myself, thou not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection to which he owes me without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name, which is no part of thee, take all myself. I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I'll never be Romeo. What man art thou, bescreened in night, so stumblest on my counsel? By name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. My ears have not drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterness, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague? Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike. Three words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If thou, love, be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow. Madam, I come anon. But if thou meanst not well, I do beseech thee, Madam, by and by I come. Tomorrow will I send. So thrive my soul, 1,000 times good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Sweep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. If I were peace and love, so sweet to rest.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, after a week of deliberation, I'm ready to deliver my closing arguments. Oh, wait, what's this? The defendant's missing. No matter. The witness, Little Timmy's missing? Did they not get my message? Well, they must have. The jury's all here. Little Timmy! There you are! Right there in the blue. Yeah, get up here. Come on. What are you doing hiding back there? Please, have a seat. Thank you. Now, Little Timmy will identify the defendant. But remember, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. So please, only to me. He's here, eh? He's in a Hawaiian shirt? What's he trying to do? He's right there. Get up here, you rapscallion, on the double. I don't have all day. In fact, it looks like I only have 3 minutes and 68 seconds left. Sit down. Now you see Mr. What's your name again? Jeff, that's what I thought. Now you see Mr. Jeff permanently injured my client when he shot him. What's that? You didn't shoot him. Well, objection, Your Honor, I can prove it. You see, this is the defendant's gun right here. What's that? It's not your gun? Are you sure about that? Now, tell me. Now, you see, that's not all. Your gun here fires FFPs, foam-flinging projectiles. The exact type of ammunition found in Little Timmy after being shot at. That's not all. Well, we broke into your house to plant evidence, not that we needed any. We found a 16-pack of FFPs with 3 missing. And if you'll allow me to quote the witness's testimony? No objections. I tried to run, but he shot me 3 times, the third one catching me in me leg. And if that's not all, while we were in your house, we went through your search history. And allow me to quote through what we found. First, Amazon.com, A Life in Lyrics, the Little Garbanzo Story. AnimeBodyPillows.com. Here it is. How to Exterminate Small Children, 101. Followed by Where to Buy M32 Pistols. And lastly, Little Timmy Geographical Location. And if that's not all, let me quote your one and only defense. That little boy had it coming to him. Now, I might be pumped full of money by Little Timmy to make sure you get put away for a long time. But let me offer you a bit of legal advice. Don't confess to the crime you're committing not guilty for. But that's the thing. No. Far from it. Well, for us at least. Because you see, I propose a different solution. Unbeknownst to the original time of 30 years in jail, I think even with that, this, I don't even want to call you a person. This containment of negative energy, hate, violence towards little Timmy will only boil and overboil. You overflow until he's released. And then little Timmy will be over for him. And I don't want my client to be living in fear for the rest of his life, under the shadow of a much bigger, more dangerous threat. So I propose a more permanent solution to our problems here. Do you think little Timmy should have peace, serenity, and that this monster should be sent to another world? Or do you think this piece of scum, look at him eating his peanut butter. Little Timmy is allergic to peanut butter, yet he brings that into the courtroom. He brings that into the courtroom. It's travesty. Do you think he should be allowed to live? Allowed anything? Allowed to threaten little Timmy's life? Please, should he live or die? Cast your vote. Well, seems the people have spoken. That's a pretty bold majority. And I have to say, I think this case is adjourned. Pew. You may go now.
Thank you all for being here tonight. Let's give them one more round of applause. A thank you to Teacher Keshava. To the rest of our Living Wisdom High School teaching team, Mandana in the back, stand up, Hazi, Letty, everyone who's here. And to the volunteers that helped to make tonight happen, Lakshmi and Ekavir and Rambakta. And our student hosts, Anna and Jay. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed this evening. It's really remarkable to see the works of such a diverse and incredible group of young people. They will be in the yoga studio waiting to share with you, have conversation, explore the work and any questions that you have. There's also a bake sale happening back there. Our students are raising money for a trip to Italy this spring, so if you'd like to contribute to that, please do. And have a wonderful evening.